Hello my friends, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video, which as you saw is going to be a rundown of my entire luxury makeup collection. So if you know me by now, you know I'm not entirely a luxury collector. In fact, it's not few and far between, but it's not too often that I pick up some luxury products, and I don't it's not something I really focus on collecting or buying. Like some makeup gurus love luxury. I like it very much, but I like the price tag better for like the middle of the road high end. So that being said, I started pulling everything out from my luxury collection. I was like, I have more than I thought I did. So I thought it'd be fun to just kind of go through it together and show you from a non-luxury makeup collector, show you what I have. So if you're interested in seeing my collection of luxury products, then just keep on watching. All right, guys, so what I did was I spread out my luxury collection on my day bed. Y'all know that this is the bed I have in front of the window, but right now my room is all over the place because my window is still waiting to get changed out. Hey. Anyways, so I really just kind of spread this out just to show you what I have. I've got quite, looks so weird just like on a little blanket, but anyways, I've got quite the extensive collection for a non-luxury collector. So let's just go ahead and go through this. I'm not going to swatch a ton of stuff. We're really just going to go into the products. I might kind of open a few, but for Pat McGrath, I only have one full-size lipstick, and it is, of course I keep the boxes. It's in the shade Christy. It's a matte trance. It's one of this is a formula by the brand that I just love so much. But I also have the little trios. Remember when she started coming out with these? So this one has Omi 1995 and Flesh 3. I still keep them in their little bags with the sequins. I love this one so much, and it's actually missing one. I can't find it. I know it's in a coat pocket somewhere because when I can't fit these into my little wristlet, like for going out to dinner, I will usually throw them in a coat pocket, and that's where I have a feeling it is. I don't know. Anyways, this one is so pretty. So it comes with, let's see, Guinevere, Elson, and Fever Dream. I love that it has the shaded, you know, the different color, I guess what components, is that what they're called? The glosses, I love her gloss formula, but I never want to buy a full size. I did get a full size for Christmas though, just because look, I am still going strong on these. This one comes with Dare to Bear, Divine Rose, and Pale Fire Nectar, which I think two of those are some of her more popular. And then this I haven't even opened, which is sad because it has since gone on sale, but this is the Opulust, the sparkling ones that she had come out with, and it comes with Lavendering, Dreamscape, and Naked Rose. So I just need to cut that open and start using it. Okay, as far as, let's see, this is a highlight palette, which there's one shade I particularly love in here, but this one came very broken. So I've had to really kind of work around that. That shade is absolutely stunning. It's the one I particularly go for. It's got like a green, you already know with it. Look, it just moves. Its whole thing is just sitting there, so I try not to be too rough with it. But the packaging, beautiful. I mean, typical Pat McGrath fashion. I don't need to explain that, you guys know. And then as far as her 6-pan palettes, I do have several. So I have Bronze Ambition, and let's see, this was one of her holiday ones, and I think I featured this one in a holiday palette recommendations. This is Bronze Temptation, and then we've got La Vie en Rose, which for a pink lover like myself, it didn't end up being the dreamiest pink palette, I have to say. But yeah, it's still quite lovely. It's just that this pink shade is not as vibrant as I had originally thought. But anyways, so I love me a good pink purple combination. Let's see, then I do also have Metamorphosis, and I think if I remember right, this is how sad it is that I haven't used this in a while, is that I think this is the one that has all, yes, it has all metallics. There are no mattes in this palette, and this was also part of that holiday collection from a couple of years ago, if I can even get this thing out. Ugh. So definitely all metallics, very pretty, but obviously doesn't get used too much. Anyways, and then the two Star Wars palettes, which I I've gone over a million times because all of those shades are in this Mega palette, which is one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes from any brand of all time, quite frankly. This is an amazing one. I have talked the heck out of it over the holiday videos, so I really won't go too much into that, but let's see, coming over here also from Pat McGrath, I do have the under eye brightening powder. I use this quite a bit. I don't know that I love it as much as other people do, if I can even get it open, but I mean, it is lovely, but I do have some setting powders that I like just as much. Oh gosh, guys, I can't open this, but you know which one I mean. It's it looks white because I've got the light one. And so it's all right. I don't know that I would repurchase. Like I said, I've got one full-size lipstick, and then I do have the highlighter that she released for holiday. I have done a video on this, comparing it to other luxury highlights from holiday collections, and so it's lovely. It's very expensive though. So I don't know that I would, again, I don't know that I would repurchase that. I am glad I picked it up because I really wanted to, it was her first one of its kind, and I really did want to try it out. So then I've got the my four quads. So 2 from this year and 2 from last year. So this particular one is, let's see, this is Ritual Risque Rose. And then I also have Interstellar Icon, and that's the one with the blue. And then of course, this has the pink. Let's see if we can get one of these open for you. Not that you haven't seen the heck out of these, but like for these quads, even the packaging is luxurious, which says a lot because sometimes when brands do quads and little minis and stuff, they don't come out as nice. They look a little bit cheaper. So this one was the one with that lavendering shade that's very, very pretty. I love this one very much. I do need to go in and use it a little more though. It's been a while since I've used it. And then of course, like I said, the blue. And then these from last year, I like them more than the ones from this year because they're the ones that had all 4 of her special type of formula that you can only find in these larger ones. What is it? The Astral, is it Astral formula? I don't know. I'm not an expert on the luxury stuff, you guys, so I just know that I like to try it out. But this shade was what prompted me to want to buy this quad right here. So definitely the special formula in these for all 4, which made it worth its while. So let's go ahead and put that one back in. And then of course, lastly, I forget what this one's called, but it was hard to hunt this one down. What is this? This is the, Ritualistic Rose. Yep. So those are the quads I have by the brand. And then coming over here, as far as the large eyeshadow palettes, it's hard to read these through the camera and I forget what each one of them is called, but this one's Bronze, what is this? Bronze Seduction. And if you've already seen my ranking of these large palettes, then you know that this one is my very favorite of all her palettes. Well, I'd say it runs a pretty close one to this Mega, quite frankly. And that's saying a lot. Let's see, Midnight Sun. I do have the Divine Rose 2. I was never a fan of the first one. I bought the first one, immediately regretted it, came in, I was so underwhelmed that I immediately turned around and not decluttered it, but sold it on Poshmark pretty much for what I paid for it. Let's see, Subversive and Subliminal. Notice I have 2 out of the 3 of her first initial palette launch. The only one I don't have is the larger one in this packaging, which is the 2. And there was just such a mess up with my orders at the time with Sephora. They couldn't get it right that I just never got my hands on it. So that's that. That really is I think that completes my Pat McGrath collection. So quite extensive. I know some people have mega amounts from the brand, but this is, I think, pretty extensive, at least for a non-collector like myself. So Charlotte Tilbury, you guys know that this was the year I really got into Charlotte Tilbury. Now this blush I had had for a while, and it's in the shade Ecstasy. I love this so much. I even think I got this a year or 2 ago. It's definitely been a while. So, and I love it, but it never prompted me. Gosh, it's got to be annoying for y'all to have to watch me try to open these things. I'm not even kidding. I'm gonna put the camera down and open it. Hold on. Alrighty, so that was a chore. But this is so, so lovely. It has a beautiful finish. The pigmentation is just perfect. It's spot on, not too much, not too little. But it's funny because it never prompted me to buy more from the brand. I was very selective with what I bought. I want to say the next thing I bought after that was the Hollywood Flawless Filter. I have mine in the shade medium, and of course I got mine well before she had come out with more shades, so I would have loved to have been able to pick up an in-between because the medium is just slightly too deep for me. It's still lovely though. Then earlier this year, I got this for my birthday. It's the Airbrush Powder, and I like it. I don't know that I love it like most people do. I definitely can't use it under my eyes. And then I got Pillow Talk, and actually I just noticed there's a couple of things I also have that I don't know where I put them. I think they're in with my glosses. This came in a set. It's Pillow Talk lipstick, and it came in a set with a couple of little minis like a lip liner and lip gloss. This is a very lovely lipstick. Very, very pretty, and I'm very happy with it. I would even be interested in looking at other shades. So you know that I picked up the Superstar Glow Highlighter this holiday season. If you remember, I did that, like I said, that comparison video. So I do have that. Mine is broken, so I keep a lot of stuff in their box, but I love this box. It's beautiful. I didn't want to toss it, but in addition, mine is broken, and a whole lot of movement causes it to crumble even more. So I'm trying to keep it as, you know, preserved as I can. And then these two quads I just recently hauled in my Sephora haul. So excited to add them to my collection. So I have the Pops palette of Pops in Dazzling Diamonds, which, oh my goodness, so, so beautiful. So fun to use. And then the Hollywood Flawless Eye Filter palette in Star Aura. And and I'm gonna be completely honest, have not yet used this on my eyelids. It's just so, so new. This is the palette that's really started it all for me, that kicked it all off for me for Charlotte Tilbury, was the Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize palette for this last holiday season. Stunning. Absolutely beautiful. If you've had your eye on it and it's still available, I really would recommend picking it up. It is just, I did a video on it, so that is available to you if you're interested, but literally, it's funny because if I go back and watch that video, my expressions just crack me up so much because of how just, it's so amazing. No words. So they still had the Starry Eyes to Hypnotize in stock, which was last year's palette. And so my husband got this one for me for Christmas. And I was so excited because once I loved this one, I was like, darn it, I wish I would have, you know, known to pick up last year's. Look how beautiful. And sure enough, it was still in stock, and he was kind enough to pick it up for me. I was like, can you get this before it sells out, please? Because, you know, guys can be very procrastinators, and this stuff sells out by the time they get to it. So that is really the extent of my Charlotte Tilbury collection. And quite frankly, coming from a non-luxury collector, I really would love to add a little bit more to this collection because, especially when it comes to the eyeshadow products, they are stellar on another level. Okay. So moving on, I'm gonna have to move a little quicker. So I've got the Star palette. This is all my Natasha Denona. And primarily for Natasha Denona, I have eyeshadow palettes. I think that is probably, if I were to say what luxury stuff I've collected over the years, it's been like, if something comes out, I really do want to get it, it's Natasha Denona. My very first Natasha Denona palette was the Star palette, and this is the original palette. She's redone the formula. I would love to get my hands on it, but I just can't justify paying for it again. So anyway, let me see if I can do this without a catastrophe happening here. Okay. So this is what it looks like. It's beautiful. Performance is amazing, but I will tell you, I can tell that it's gotten old because they are powderier and they don't perform as well as they used to. Love the packaging. That's my favorite packaging she's ever done with the stars. So pretty. The Safari palette is absolutely stunning. If you love neutrals, if you love those kind of, I mean, exactly what it says. I hate how that creaks when it opens. Yikes, happens every time. So this has oh gosh, you guys, this is the struggle. I How do people make it look so easy? I don't know. Anyways, definitely what it says. It's a safari palette, and that's what comes to my mind when I use it, when I open it, when I see these tones. But the performance is incredible. That Savannah shade, love. Looks like a pukey olive, but it's beautiful. I love it. Let's see. Most recently, the Trio Chrome palette, which I like. Wish it had more of those Trio Chrome shades, but I get it. That's what the palette is called. That's what it comes with. The Tropic palette is a very not underwhelming, unloved palette. It's such a good palette. Has like, well, coming from a bright lover like myself, it really does have amazing shades. But again, you have to love bright colors, and I do. So it's got some neutrals in there too, though. This one went on sale. It might even still be on sale. Who knows? The Biba palette is beautiful, especially for a non-neutral lover like myself. The gold palette is the gold palette of all gold palettes. This one is so, so amazing that if I would recommend one palette that had gold shades, it would be this one. Regardless of the price tag, it has every gold you could ever possibly want or need. And this is just one of my, ooh, sorry guys, one of my very favorite palettes of all time. It's just so stunning. Making a mess here, you guys. I had it organized so nicely. The Sunset palette, that one, I need to go back to using it. I haven't used it in a long time. I never figured out, is this the Lila palette or the Lila palette? Who knows? Metropolis, love, you guys. Love this palette so much because it was in this like pleather type of packaging. But I also love that it has more shades. It takes up more real estate because there's more shades. They're smaller than her typical ones. And I think we all prefer that. I'll prefer to, even if we're going to pay the $129, prefer to get this at like with more shades, you know, because we're not going to go through all those eyeshadows. Then we get to her smaller $65 palettes, which is Sunrise, Love, which I'm excited Valentine's Day is coming, so I can use that one, Bronze, and Glam. And then, let's see, we've got a few face palettes, which are the, let's see, the Love Glow palette, the Bloom palette, which was her first one. Remember when she started coming out with those? And then the Tan palette. As far as highlighters, I do have one of the Super Glows. Mine is in the shade 2 Light Medium. And then most recently her I Need a Nude Glow, which is absolutely beautiful. I've got 3 of her little tiny bite-sized palettes. So I have the Gold palette. I've got the, let's see, Mini Nude, which I love this one, and I just so clearly remember I was not intending on picking that one up. And then the Mini Retro palette. So I have 3. I don't always jump at the chance to buy those. I like to wait and see what quality is like sometimes, unless it just really speaks to me. Kind of like the nude. I waited it out, but yeah, sometimes I don't have them all. So anyways, that really is the extent of my Natasha Denona collection. As far as miscellaneous, I have most recently the YSL Touche Eclat 3D All Over Glow. I just recently used this in a video, so I won't pull this out of the box. And then the Gucci bronzer, which if you're going to buy a bronzer and you're going to buy a good bronzer, let it be this one. It is absolutely amazing. As far as Hourglass, my collection is actually quite small. I've got, let's see, what was this one that came out in the pink packaging? And really, that's why I bought it. It's the Lighting Edit Volume 4, and literally I was sucked in by the pink packaging. The Ghost Unlocked palette, which was the kind of redo of the Unlocked palette. Same stuff, just different packaging. But I skipped out on the first one and immediately regretted it. I've got a couple of blush palettes. Let's see, the Ambient Blush palette, and then this is, I think, the Strobe, Ambient Strobe, so basically for highlighting. But these palettes intrigue me. Anytime Hourglass comes out with these types of blush palettes or highlighter palettes, these are worth the money for me, and so I definitely like picking these up. Let's see, here's another blush palette, and then we've got the original Ambient Lighting palette. So that one's still going strong, but I don't reach for it very often, so I did not pick up the most recent one. It's got deeper shades, and I thought, you know what, I really don't even reach for this one. I've got both bronzers, which is Radiant Bronze Light and Luminous Bronze Light. These are some of the best bronzers you will find out there. They're absolutely stunning. And then most recently, I had picked up the Ambient Lighting Infinity Powder, which I've been using as kind of like an all-over kind of finishing / setting powder. It's good. I like it. But for me, it was more about the curiosity. I don't think it's something you need to pay a lot of money for. And then I have one of their, what is this called? I forget. The Unreal Gloss, and this is in the shade Sublime. It's lovely. I love, love, love this. I had the intent of buying more shades, and then I kind of, you know, sometimes things fall off of the wagon when other new stuff comes out that takes priority. So my one little loner gloss. So that's my Hourglass collection. And then lastly, we've got my Dior collection. Tiny, but I think it's powerful. And so I do have the Dior Backstage foundation. This is an amazing, the Backstage line in its entirety is really, really amazing. But I do have that, and every time I forget about it, and every time that I use it, then I'm like, oh my gosh, why don't I use this more often? Now, as far as the palettes, I do have 3. So I have got, let's see, what is this one called? This is 002 Glitz. It's very beautiful. I don't think anything compares to the first one, but this one is absolutely stunning. This one in particular gives you a glow. Can't get over it. Anyways. So then the other one we have is 001 Universal. It's cracked, and that's why I usually don't turn it upside down like that, and I completely forgot. And then most recently for holiday, I picked up 004 Rose Gold, which is lovely, but I think it wasn't anything super different from what I already had, so I wasn't as overwhelmed. But anyways, still beautiful. And then I have 2 highlighters. I have one in, it's the Dior Skin Nude Air, and I have 001. See if I can get this open with one hand. I know I make some of y'all super nervous when I try to do this, but yeah, oh, these are so easy to open with one hand. So this is what that one looks like. It is very, very lovely. It's like a gelée formula, and I love that type of formula. It's just a little bit easier on the skin, looks a little bit more glowy, a little bit more, I don't know, wet and porcelain-like, I guess. Let's open this one up. What is this, though? This is 001 Glowing Pink. Let's see. Okay, where's the opening thing to this? One of these days, y'all. The embossment on this is so, so pretty. And you can tell I haven't used it, like, enough to wear down the embossment, but these are just beautiful. There's a reason that they're luxury. I get it. So, you guys, that pretty much brings us to the end of my luxury collection. So, definitely not as extensive as somebody who does focus on collecting and buying and trying luxury, but it's a sure heck of a lot for someone, you know, who is more into the middle of the road type. So I love my little luxury collection. Once I started pulling it out, I was like, oh my gosh, I have quite a bit, and truly I love using it. There is a reason that this is considered luxury. I know it's expensive, but there's a quality to a lot of this stuff that you really can't find in the middle of the road. Sometimes you can, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you find stuff at drugstore and you're like, wait, I paid how much for this and how much for the one at Sephora? But anywho, you guys, this concludes my luxury collection. I hope you enjoyed going through it with me. All right, my friends, well, that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed, found it fun, just a few relaxing minutes just to sit back and spend some time chatting makeup with me. Before I let you go, I want to give you a very quick verse of the day. We'll throw up a phone number in case you are in need of prayer, in case you need just somebody to talk to, pour your heart out, that kind of thing. And then today's verse comes from John 14:6, and it says, Jesus saith unto him, who was Thomas, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. Jesus is absolute truth, and it is my prayer that if you don't already know him as the Lord and Savior of your life, as your very best friend, I feel like we put him in a box of a very formal type of thing, and the reality is once he becomes your Savior, he becomes your very, very best friend. It is such an amazing relationship. It is so beautiful. My walk with him is I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. And so it's not anything to shove down your throat. It's just in an effort to encourage you and to invite you to come to know him if you don't already. That being said, my friends, I will let you go for today. I hope you're having a great day. Please stay safe and stay well in these crazy times. Please remember that I love you, but Jesus loves you so much more. Until the next one, see you soon. Bye.